Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton. It's time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the reality shows that we're doing is the Real Housewives of Orange County. So here's the thing about the RHOC. This is actually something this is kind of like a gripe I have across the franchise, all the Housewives shows. And that is, oddly enough, they can't mention the show, right? That they're on a show and that they've had a lot of things happen to them because of the show. Is it just me, or is that a little weird? Like, I get it for the first season because you haven't really had that many experiences of the show yet because it's the first season, right? But after subsequent seasons, I mean, like, if something happens, like, okay, here's an example. In the Housewives of Atlanta, there was an issue with Nene apparently choking out someone. Maybe it was even Kim Zolciak, maybe. I'm not even quite sure. But, because they were in Los Angeles, I want to say, for the upfront, and they were in Beverly Hills in some shop, and, Nene went crazy. So, I mean, but Nene's like, but was I smart enough to not do it on camera? She was, because we didn't know. And not just that, but not only did she not do it on camera, but we couldn't really hear about it because they couldn't really talk about it on the show. So, I mean, or if they do make any mention of it, it usually gets edited out. So that's kind of strange, because at least on, like, for example, on Below Deck, they can talk about the show. They can say, oh, she just wants to be on the show, or she is, met me when I was on Watch What Happens Live, So, I mean, like, that all makes sense. I mean, if they want to film a reality show discussing these people's lives, it would make sense to let them talk about the show, since that is a huge part of their lives, especially the Orange County Housewives. I mean, so the whole thing is just a little bit strange to me. And that's just something that I've felt for a while across the franchise, no matter what city. So, anyways, I just thought I would. Am I alone in that? Do you all feel that way too? It's kind of weird, right? Okay. Anyways, let's move on to this episode. So this particular episode, there's two housewives that I'm really struggling with. And one of them I never really struggled with before. And, well, actually, neither one of them I ever really struggled with before. The one that I'm actually not struggling with is Peggy, actually. Now, I do think that she's a little too naive. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I was her and I had been cast on a program, I would have watched all the episodes of the program that had aired at this point. Right? I would have done my homework a little bit. Because she doesn't know anything. Like, so for example, when they started this episode, she was at, I want to say it was Lydia's dinner. I don't remember whose fucking dinner it was, but I think it was Lydia's, because Lydia was asking them all if they wanted to go to Iceland, right? So they all said that they would go to Iceland, but in that dinner, Shannon was discussing with Peggy the whole issue between Deco and David, and Peggy didn't understand why she was freaking out so much. She was like, do you trust your husband? And, apparently that was the wrong thing to say to Shannon, because, because she said, has your husband done anything that you would not trust him? And, he did have an affair. So, and, Shannon was upset by that, and, I mean, it just went on to this never-ending thing with Shannon. I mean, and here's the two housewives I'm having issues with. And one of them is not Peggy. Despite the fact that I thought that she should have at least known. She should have known a little bit about the people that she's working with. I mean, wouldn't you, if you were cast on a program that had been airing for quite some time, and you're the new cast member, wouldn't you have watched the previous episodes? At least the last couple seasons. I mean, granted, the show's been on for 12 years, so, but even still, it's not like it's a daytime television. It's not like I'm getting cast on Days of Our Lives, and I need to know all about that, right? Shit, I would though, if I would know my history on Days of Our Lives if I were to get cast on that. But anyways, the point is that wouldn't you kind of make an effort to try to learn stuff, right? You would think. So, but she didn't know. So she, made that comment to Shannon. She honestly didn't know. So Shannon was like pissed off, then really super irritated. And, I get that she's mad at David. She really is still mad at David. And as much as she said she was over the affair last season, she's really not over it. She isn't. And he's kind of not over it either, So, but the problem is that Shannon has a tendency to make a big deal about things that really shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? I don't know. I love me some Shannon. She's very much the Disney girls that I worked with at Disney. She's very Orange County. Like she probably typifies Orange County more than any of the other girls there do. But I just can't take that about her. Like it feels like to me, and this could be editing also, but it feels like every single episode it's something else for Shannon to get upset about. Girl, it's not that bad. I mean, like, really, if you look at the grand scheme of life, it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, like, the big blow-up between her and Lydia from, like, the beginning of the season when she was, like, when Lydia, now this is because Lydia is, oh my God, I was thinking of the other Lydia from Melbourne, but, when they called her Lydiot, oh my God, that is pretty good. That kind of applies, because when Lydiot was talking to Shannon, she wasn't articulating herself very well, and she's basically, instead of saying, your behavior is reminding me of Vicky's behavior, the way that you're describing Vicky's behavior, instead she said, you're just like Vicky, and of course, again, that sets Shannon off. But then Lydia has to go off about it as well and make this big old production. It's very frustrating. Both of them really just make me want to put them both in timeout. I mean, like, seriously, like, just chill, relax, both of you, especially you, Shannon, relax. But you, Lydia, too, you also need to relax. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, they all agree that they're going to Iceland. Excuse me. So they go to Iceland, right? And they're on a plane. And Megan brings her baby with her and her nanny. Now, listen. I actually am okay that she did that. I mean, other than the fact that it's a baby on an airplane, they are in first class. And B, I mean, if she's going to have her baby with her, I'm glad that she brought her nanny, as opposed to Kim Fields on the Housewives of Atlanta, who brought her children and did not have any help, right? So I at least appreciate that Megan made that. And plus she's like, I'm breastfeeding and she's going to need to eat, so she's got to come with me, or else I wouldn't be able to go. Would I have not gone? Maybe, but, who knows, I mean, there's a lot worse things than having a baby on an international flight, I suppose. But, I mean, I just think the baby's too young to be traveling that far. But, whatever. At least commercially, right? Anyways. So, yeah, so they all decided that they're going to go to Iceland or whatever, right? And, Vicky is still having issues with Tamara, because they had that big sit-down. They had a big sit-down meeting. And Tamara basically kind of ripped Vicky to shreds for it. This was last week. And I was like, ooh. It's not a good look, Vicky. Yikes. Okay, Tamara. So that was interesting. Kelly Dodd, believe it or not, this past week, Kelly Dodd actually wasn't really in the middle of that much of the drama this week, actually. So, hey, that's great, right? It does kill me, though, how much she looks like Mophead. She really does look a lot like Mophead, like quite a bit. It's a little bit scary. I've got an idea. That just gave me a really brilliant idea. Anyways, I do want to say thank you so much for logging on. I do appreciate it. You can feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag RHOC or Real Housewife shit to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. You can also hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk about the Bold and Beautiful. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for logging on. Have a wonderful day. Peace out, and wubba, wubba, wubba.